Good morning, good afternoon for those that are joining, and welcome to our latest episode of redk Webinar Live. For those that are returning, thank you for coming back, and for those that are new, thank you for returning, as I say. The purpose of these sessions are for us to invite our guests. In this case, we've invited our Zendesk celebrity, Alberto, to join us. Today, we're going to be talking all about AI, which is a buzzword. It's a hot topic in the market, of course. And really, we're going to unpack quite a lot, but looking at it from different angles, from AI experiences, agent co-pilots, and so on and so forth. Before we dive into that, Alberto, it'd be nice for you to introduce yourself and your role, just for the viewers to understand, your perspective and where you're coming from.
Of course. George, again, appreciate for inviting us here. It's a pleasure to be here representing Zendesk. My name is Alberto. I'm leading South EMEA operations for Zendesk. And again, it's a pleasure to collaborate with you guys, and happy to be sharing our thoughts about AI and agent.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alberto. And as I say, today's session, we only have a short amount of time, so we are going to try and uncover or unpack as much as we can. But I think it's fair to say AI is everywhere you look. It's on our mobiles, it's on the metro, it's on the tubes, it's on the trains, aeroplanes, airports, you name it. But really, of course, we're trying to uncover how customer experience is at the heart of everything we do and how that really is unpacking. So what I just want to really understand from yourself is businesses need to leverage this data, these tools, these packages, because we're finding if they're not, they're almost being left behind potentially. We want to really make sure that everybody is really putting their customers at the heart of what they do. So because we're recognizing this isn't just a trend, what I'd love to hear from yourself just to start is just to understand a bit more why you think now is the crucial time for businesses to make that move, and give us a bit more of an insight as to AI as a whole for organizations.
I think that's the key question, right? Like, there is a massive buzz, as you said, in terms of AI. We pretty much we've seen party tricks, everyone is playing with AI, but what about why it's important for the companies to invest now? So in order to do that, I think we need to look backwards. Like, we need to do a journey a couple of decades back. If we look at massive innovations we have had since the invention of the telephone, the internet, Web 2.0, or the digital transformation, we have seen that this massive technological innovation, they have disrupted the CX as we knew it before, right? If we look at this innovation or at CX from three main perspectives, we are going to see that mostly before each of this innovation, there was a huge volume of requests, of interactions that we couldn't handle with the previous technology. We also can check that the quality of the service was declining. I mean, customers were not happy with the kind of service they were receiving. And mostly in terms of cost, that was unmanageable, that was unsustainable to keep going this way, because the costs were massively increasing for giving that kind of support. If we look at the moment that we are right now, in the last 10 years, the number of interactions, the number of tickets, the number of requests, they have multiplied 3 times. So the tickets that we have in 2015 and the tickets that we are having now is actually 3 times. And also, if we keep the projection, we are anticipating that in 2030, we are going to see the number of tickets we have today multiplied by 5 times. So it's a massive exponential growth of number of tickets. First pain point, first pressure point for the companies. The second one, as I said, the quality of the service. If we look at Forrester report in terms of CX or the quality of the service, we are going to check that in the last 2 years, in 2021, basically, we have a peak of quality, and now we are declining. So it's something that we don't know what's the reason behind that, but we kind of anticipating that the customer already get the standard experience that they get as a must, and they are never satisfied. Our expectations as a consumer, they're always going up. And I think this is one of the main reasons why the quality is going down. And if we look at the third pain point, or the third constraint, is the cost, right? We are living in a moment where high inflation, with a huge pressure from the macroeconomic standpoint, and this is making the current model unsustainable in time. So huge cost. If we look at IDC report, the cost or the investment in customer services or customer experience technology, it's around 600 billion, and it's growing 8% every single year. Massive growth, massive investment, massive cost, right? And these 3 pressure points for the companies, they are getting in a moment where the experience, the customer experience, is the primary factor for consumers to choose a brand of a service. It's because of that we believe that AI is here to be disrupting the CX market as we know, because naturally CX can influence these three main pillars that we talk about.
Amazing. That's really insightful. Thank you. I think one thing I really love about the role that I play here at redk is the conversations we have with organizations, the problems they're facing, and you've really articulated that perfectly. And I think the best thing, conversations we have, is putting ourselves into the shoes of their consumer, of their customers. We're all consumers, as you quite rightly mentioned. And here's the thing of the past was people wanted deflection. Organizers wanted to deflect customers to one point or the other, or give them an answer, read an article. But now it's all about provide a solution. Think to myself, if I was to ask a brand, I have a question, I don't want to be directed to an article. I want the answer there and then. And AI is really changing the dynamic of those types of conversations. And as I say, I think for businesses to be really successful in this day and age, they have to put their customers at the heart of what they do. And what's quite interesting is because nobody employs a chief customer experience officer. Everybody is responsible for this, right? There's, the COO all the way down to low-level staff. But on that note, I think it's quite important that we identify where should areas really prioritize AI? Because as I say, AI comes in many different shapes and sizes. You've really articulated it nicely in those three pillars. But if I was an organization, how would you be able to talk me through what I should be putting first and how to prioritize that?
Yeah, and another great questions. Massively, as I said before, there is big buzz in the market around AI, how to implement AI, where should I start investing in AI? I mean, the use cases are massive, right? If we take in consideration Amara's law just say that we, as a users, we tend to overestimate the power of technology in the short run, but we tend to underestimate the power of technology in the long run. That's basically what we are seeing right now. Everyone using ChatGPT for questions, but what are the practical use cases for AI that they can add a lot of value? You mentioned the most important one, the one that it adding a lot of value because, first of all, it reduces the cost, and secondly, it's impacting directly to the customers, right? Mm-hmm. Customers are getting that impact from AI directly. And as we've seen, we are projecting 80% of the interactions in 2030 are going to be automated, right? But we need to focus now in this 20%. This 20% that still require empathy from the agent, empathy from the company. And we cannot have these complex use cases or these complex issues just handled in short time just to reduce costs. We need to put focus, we need to put energy, we need to put emphasis and, again, empathy on that. In order to help the companies, I think there are two main use cases. One of them is to assist the agents, right? How can we empower the agents to be better at their job, to be more productive, to be more efficient? So it's what we call the agent experience. These people that work for us, it's people who represent us in front of the customer, so they need to be happy as well, right? And the other one is the platform, the intelligent platform, right? With AI, we have the capabilities of incorporating a lot of functionalities, a lot of value, a lot of insights within the platform that doesn't require a manual admin, as we've seen a couple of months, couple of years ago. So that's the two areas that I truly believe companies can start now. They're going to be seeing small incremental value by increasing the efficiency, by increasing the productivity of the agent. So I would say that this is an area that definitely we are going to see a lot of value in the short term.
Amazing. And again, that's really insightful. And I think I'd like to unpack that ever so slightly a little bit more, because I think what we see is that when we speak to organizations or companies and we say AI or we say Zendesk Copilot and we use these terminologies, the first thought is the negative connotation sometimes is that it's replacing tasks, replacing people, or they're going to get stuck in a loop that we traditionally see when we're speaking to a chatbot and it's not helping the end user. And so what we're trying to sort of explain here is that actually we can take a step back and allow the 20% to be the focal point, because that's actually going to impact the customers either directly or indirectly. And I think another point, just before I sort of hand over to yourself, is that these employees, these agents, they are using the best-in-class technology in their day-to-day lives, whether at home, on the metro, wherever they might be. So when they come to work, in their environment, they want to have the same tools available. They want to have things at their fingertips. They want to help their customers, and they want to help the customers that need their help, the ones that are VIP customers, the complex tasks, and they want to be able to have the tools and the resource to have everything in front of them. So I think on that point, it would be really good for you to share maybe some insights on how agent or Zendesk AI agent could boost those productivities and what that really means in a bit more detail.
We cannot forget that there is something that it's never gonna change, or at least so far there is no change. The customer is always human, and as I said before, humans appreciate empathy, right? So we need, as you said, we need to facilitate with right tools to the agents in order for them to do the great job and to focus on what it matters, that it's to understand, to listen to the other person, right? Zendesk has bring, as I said, like a complete suite of AI tools that they are going to help the customer to automate, but mostly we are focusing on making those agents happier in their daily job. Zendesk Copilot, for instance, you mentioned Zendesk Copilot. Zendesk Copilot is the only Copilot that it's been designed specifically for customer service. It's never going to help you to do a presentation. It's not going to never help you to do a mathematical formula, but it's going to help you to solve tickets faster, easier, and trying to prioritize the customer satisfaction over anything else, right? And customer and agent Copilot, what it's going to do is to be proactively suggesting the agent what are the next steps, what are the next actions. And sometimes it's going to take actions for the agent if we activate the auto assist, right? So basically, we have that functionality that is massive investment in the agent's experience. The second one, I would say, is the intelligent context, right? We need to give the agents all the information that they need to solve the tickets. So the times where the agent needed to go to different systems to look for that information, this is old school. This is over. Now they need to have a context panel where they can get the information about what's the sentiment of the customer, what's the intention, right? What is the motivation? What do they want to fix or solve with this interaction, right? And apart from that context, all this information is going to help us to route automatically the request to the right person with the right skill, with the right level of knowledge, or with the right capacity, because they might be overwhelmed with 1,000 requests. Why don't we send that to someone who is less loaded with work? So I would say that this is the second point. And finally, the third one is the measuring the quality. Remember that I said volume, quality, and cost? Right now, companies are just getting few random interactions to measure what is the internal quality score, right? And they are extrapolating that result to assume that, okay, all the interactions, they behave as the random check that we've done. And that was normal because it was manually impossible or humanly impossible to do that by one every minute to review another interaction. It was not humanly possible. Now with AI, we can auto-measure the quality of the 100% of the interactions that we have in order to have a proper analysis of the quality. And the AI is going to flag, is going to put the spotlight in these specific areas where we truly believe the agent needs help because it was a lack of knowledge, they were using the wrong words, or they did not do the next best action. Mm-hmm. And that is automatically. And these are the areas where we see we can help a lot the agents to do their job faster, better, more efficiently, and be happier than without the platform.
Amazing. Thank you. And I think that raises food for thought, certainly in my mind as well, is because we're focusing, or you mentioned there, very much about agent orientated, which is fantastic. But I wonder we could maybe very just quickly touch on the admin or the manager side of things, because what we typically see in conversations is that emails are certainly not going anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. We're not saying for 1 minute emails will always be the holy grail of customer service requests, you could argue. And what we typically see is it's almost impossible in today's world, or maybe historically, to know what somebody is talking about via email from the very beginning of their journey. It's almost like by sending a WhatsApp, we don't know what that says until we open up the message and we have a conversation. And really we're seeing potentially ideally with the Zendesk intent model is we're automatically identifying what somebody is there for, either their sentiment, what they're talking about, to be able to utilize that as quickly as possible, as you say, route effectively to allow agents to have the tools available. Maybe just very quickly, are you seeing many customers having advantages from the reporting mechanisms as a result? Are customers finding that an advantage point, would you say, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I think you're spot on what you just mentioned. Like, the whole idea is to replace all manual, not value tasks that is taking time in the resolution of the request by incorporating all that knowledge. So we have the sentiment. We can analyze everything: sentiment, intention, language, case of resolution. We have all this natural language model already working behind the scenes. That's what we call the intelligent platform. But the next step is what you said, taking advantage of the AI power insights, where we can analyze, hey, maybe here an agent is better equipped than an AI agent, or vice versa, or where I'm getting the most quality in the interaction, through an AI agent, through an agent, through a two-step process. So basically, Zendesk capability is not just to provide this intelligent platform, but also to give you the insights that they're going to help you to optimize your operation. Because no matter what we do today, as I said before, customer expectations are going to be always growing. So we need to be catching up all the time with what customers want to see.
Amazing. Thank you. And I think you really articulated that really well. And I think what we're seeing as well is that, AI tools are being productized more and more, quicker and quicker, off-the-shelf products available. And Zendesk has been first-in-class customer experience technology for as long as I can remember, and I think Forrester and Gartner will obviously back that up as well. You mentioned it a bit there, but maybe just share a bit more insights, if you could please, about the distinctive advantages that Zendesk has over other competitive tools, and really how we can bring that to light. Is there a bit more that you could just share about how Zendesk is why Zendesk is the leader, I suppose, is my real question.
Yeah. Great question. At the end of the day, as I said, I think Zendesk agents productivity or agent empowerment tools through AI, it's different because of mainly three things. First of all, as I said, it's the only Copilot, or it's the only suite of AI solutions designed for the customer experience. That's number one. So everything that we've done is create a Copilot, create an intelligent panel, create an intelligent platform just to help resolve issues, requests from customer. That's it, number one on that. Secondly, it's the DNA of Zendesk, right? So the time to value. We have designed a platform that it can be up and running for basic use cases just out of the box, right? Obviously, with the help of companies like redk, we can get way more value by having a guidance, by having an added value and a vision on what can we do next. But out of the box, Zendesk is going to be working with little admin work or basically no development. And the third point that I would say is that it's democratizing that not just for the admin, but any agent can interact with the Copilot in a proactive way. It's not waiting for the agent to prompt what they want to do. It's literally going to be suggesting the agent what's the next best action. And this is one entire platform that is unique in the market right now for the customer experience perspective.
Amazing. Thank you. And lastly, just to wrap up, I think as we've explored very much how Zendesk AI or AI can improve efficiency, agent rapport, and their engagement with the platform, and the empathy that, of course, they need to show. And I think what we're seeing now more and more is organizations having almost AI committees, right? Actually, we're understanding that we're not trying to put something over the gaps. We're just actually trying to address customers' requirements. So maybe just lastly, if we could just very quickly touch on broadening AI strategically and what that means for organizations. So how do we think AI could evolve maybe just a bit beyond that? How could organizations strategically approach these type of projects or these initiatives to make sure they're getting the most out of them, essentially?
Yeah, clearly. Now, definitely, if we check what we just been discussing, we've been focusing mostly in empowering the agents, right? Giving tools to the people to do their job better, faster. So my suggestion for the companies would be, first of all, take advantage of companies like redk to guide them in that process. analyze what are the main use cases that they want to solve, and make a comparison between what's the difficulty that I want to solve versus what is the complexity, not just of the technology, but the integrations that I need to do, and what is the value or the impact for the customer, right? So we've been talking a lot about assist the agents. But as you mentioned at the beginning, everyone is talking about automating the experience of the customer, because mostly this is reducing the cost, as I said at the beginning, and secondly, it's impacting directly to the customer satisfaction. The customers want that. The customer, they don't want to be waiting 2 hours for an answer, for saying like an answer to what are the return policies for this company. They don't want to wait. And what you said was spot on. They don't want to read an article. They want someone naturally to tell them the information, not to, hey, here you have, read like 2 paragraphs. I just want information. So I would say that we need to differentiate the kind of project or what do we want to solve. If we want to assist the experience or automatize the experience, assist those 20% of remaining tickets for the agents to be empowered, or we want to invest in having like a super strong intelligent platform that I can reduce operationally. What are the costs of managing that? That would be a summary.
Perfect. I think that's summarized perfectly. Well, I'd like to wrap it up there, Alberto. I've certainly learned a lot, and hopefully all the viewers have at home as well. I think it's fair to say that we could spend hours talking about this topic, and there's lots more that we haven't really unpacked, and we focus very much on that 20%, as you say. So I think what we'd like to do is invite you back, hopefully in the future, dive into a bit more detail into different topics. And of course, if anybody does have any questions, anything they'd like to explore a little bit more on, we'd love to explore the conversations further, and we'll sort of see how we can sort of support organizations and essentially provide them the guidance potentially that they need as well. So thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. And we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks.